The market stats for November 2024 just came out, and as always in this video, we're going to try and get through those stats in less than 3 minutes, and I'll just go through some of the key takeaways from those numbers for the full video of those stats that will be coming out shortly as well. If you ever want to book in a call, discuss what's happening on the ground level in Toronto real estate, click on that first link in the description down below. Jumping into November, we do have a few key takeaways, and what's interesting to note as we're closing in at the end of 2024 is that if you combine the sales from 2023 and 2024, we're not that far off of where things were for all of 2021. So almost 2 years of data could be just a bit ahead of where sales were in 2021. That being said, there are a few key takeaways that just happened in the month of November. First one is we've been talking about how there's a tale of two markets out there, being the freehold properties, so the semi-detached and detached properties, performing much different than condos in the city of Toronto. Now what we're seeing is a difference between condos, and the bigger condos, so the ones that are big layouts, maybe great views and in great locations, are starting to see some competition out there, especially when it comes to the most desirable units that are priced really well here in the city of Toronto. The smaller units that are still on the market, and there are plenty of them out there, aren't quite getting that competition. So we are seeing two markets within the condo market right now. Next on the list is mortgage rates, and we have seen those remain relatively flat or actually creep up just a little bit from where things were on the fixed side of things. The variable rate has come down quite a bit, and there is another announcement in the month of December heading into 2025. The biggest thing with mortgages coming up, though, are the new rules on December 15th, 2024. And what those rules are new down payments. So you no longer have to put down 20% above the million mark. That's going to 1.5 million. And I will bring up a chart in the next video to go through what that will look like. So click that subscribe button to not miss that one. And then there's a 30-year amortization for first-time buyers, regardless if they put down 20% or not. So that'll be big as well to kind of offset if they are not putting down 20% on that first property. The next key is we are seeing competition on the ground level, especially in the properties in the low $1 million range. This is something we've been seeing for the last couple of months, but it was definitely prominent in the month of November. We even saw a property get 30 offers in a city just outside of Toronto. That'll be interesting as we go along, especially for the 1 to 1.5 million range in Toronto, which is already competitive. These new rules come into effect, what that will do to the market as we head into 2025. The other piece about that is we still don't have full clarity from the lenders of how that's going to work. So we are a bit of a wait and see on how and when those properties need to close and how that will affect, and see if buyers are waiting on the sidelines for those rule changes to come into play. Months of inventory, and if you've been watching this channel, you know that that's the metric we are watching as we go. Active listings divided by the number of sales to give us the months of inventory. Basically, how many properties are selling. For the detached market, 2.89, which is actually up a touch from October, but I'd argue 2.81 to 2.89 is relatively flat. Semi-detached, we are still hovering around the 2 mark, and 2 is the number that really puts us into seller territory. Anything below 2, we will see offer dates come back, and we will see a rise in price if things remain below 2. And for the semi-detached properties, they're always usually in the 2 range or even below, like we saw earlier this year. If we look at townhouses, that's up quite a bit. We're closing in on 3 months of inventory at 2.8. That's a big difference from October, and townhouses remain pretty competitive in the city. We're not quite in a balanced market for townhouses just yet, but it will remain to be seen how things do moving forward. Again, when it comes to condos, this is the big one. We are below 5 months of inventory, which is the first time we've seen that in quite a long time for the city of Toronto. 4.75 months of inventory can be attributed to two things. The first one is that we're seeing sales in the condo space. People are buying condos right now, just not in droves as of yet, and there are a lot of active listings on the market. That being said, many of those listings have taken themselves off the market here, especially going into the new year. So we'll see how that plays out if they do come back to market, which could affect the months of inventory. There you have it. That's the market update in a few minutes or less. I'm Michael Ouzas. Thanks for watching.